Callum, we have to have a little bit of a chat about one of the bosses here at work, our content director, Sophie. She's brought up quite a bit on the show, but she recently told us about something she used to do back in the day when she was about 12 years old, which has spun us out a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit shocking. It's one of those revelations when she told us, she told another producer as well, and we all thought, well, we work with Hannibal Lecter. we work with someone who's seriously bred with evil.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened is, everyone remembers Saturday Disney, right? Great show. If you didn't have, Disney Channel, every Saturday morning you could watch it on free-to-air TV with Saturday Disney. And the host would do all these different sort of competitions, one of which was a drawing competition. So you were, or colouring in, sorry. So you would do your colouring in, you'd send it in to Saturday Disney with your age, your name, your address and everything. And if you were the best in that age category, you won. You won the prizes, which was a bunch of toys and stuff.
Oh, and this is huge, especially being a kid, watching Saturday Disney, ultimate bragging rights when you go to school to tell your mates.
Yeah, even just getting on is like ultimate bragging rights.
You're
but
on
then,
TV.
Like, some of the prizes were amazing as well. I remember people winning Nintendo DSs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what happened is our content director, Sophie, at the age of 12 years old, was winning Saturday Disney colouring in competitions by entering as a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
She would say she was 6, when in reality she was 12, and beat all these other 6-year-olds in a colouring in competition to win toys.
On paper, you don't think it sounds like a big deal because you're like, well, 12 is also a kid, they will get up to these shenanigans. But really,
that's double the age.
6 years difference, and I think as a 12-year-old, you would know better not to cheat in a 6-year-old's game.
If you're entering the 10, 11-year-old competition, sure, you could. That's okay.
Yeah, but there's a big jump between 6 to 12. It's pretty full on.
Huge jumps.
I mean,
I want to open up the text line in just a moment, Callum. 0428 927 927. Who was the petty cheater? Who cheated on something and it was just the most petty thing you've ever seen?
I think one of the really funny ways I've petty cheated, we hang out with ex-Port player George Fialchi a little bit, and there's a few times...
Yeah, all right, flex.
No flex, just like, we have a little bit to do with him, but there's a few times, I don't know if you've noticed, he'll say to us, he'll have something coming through his speakers, an old song, and he thinks we won't get it, and he'll say, so, who do you think this is? But you won't get it. I always pull out Shazam under the table and just do it. And then I'll turn around, I'll just be like, yeah, George, it's Bob Dylan, Mr. Tambourine Man, and he would be gobsmacked. He'd be like, how do you know this song from the 70s? And I was like, I don't know, I just do. It would be some obscure thing. But
I'm really into music,
I've
man.
got him to the point where I just do Shazam in front of him, and he just doesn't realise it's on my phone.
Maybe he doesn't know what Shazam is. Hey, plenty of people getting involved, all the petty cheaters out there. Somebody's texted in here saying, my mate Gus is a cheater. Had a push-up challenge. He didn't eat to lose weight so he could win, and still didn't, so he had to pay for a steak dinner.
Oh, very good. I mean,
Gus,
think there's other ways apart from malnourishing yourself to win a push-up competition.
Do some push-ups.
He'd be pretty frail. We got this one here. My go-to is switching the 6 and the 9s around in Uno. Usually no one notices.
Yeah, right, okay. Hey, we've got people waiting on the phone lines here. Kirsten over in Blakesview, good morning to you. Who's the petty cheater?
Good morning. That would be my eldest daughter.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay. How's she cheating? What's she doing?
She plays in her younger sister's under-8 team, but she's 12.
Wow. Okay, so how do you encourage this?
Do you have much to do with this, Kirsten?
Yeah, she only does the fill-in game, but nobody questions her because she's so tiny.
Right, okay, so no other parents on the sidelines have thought, hey, maybe she doesn't look that age.
Is there a noticeable skill difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a big skill difference.
Sorry, I saw your daughter parlay it into the goals. It was quite technically advanced.
We got Matt in Yadunde. Matt, good morning, mate. Who's the petty cheater here?
Hey guys, how you going?
Very good.
Good, mate. And yourself?
Yeah, diving myself in here. Back when I was in primary school, I used to play hide and seek a fair bit with my mates at my parents' house.
Yep.
I obviously knew I had the advantage. I knew where all the good hiding spots were, and we'd sort of stated all the boundaries where we can and can't hide. And, yeah, I used to hide where we weren't meant to.
Oh,
yeah,
you go to the
classic.
out of bounds areas. What were the out of bounds areas? Like the lock on the bathroom door, or?
Well, my favourite one was hiding up on the roof because I knew an easy way to get up there. And it was a nice and quick way to get up there, so they never found out about that one.
Do you not, Matt? It is a thing, though, isn't it? Do you not feel like the biggest mastermind, smartest person when you say, all right, guys, indoor hide and seek only, and then you just slide the back door open and creep out into the garden?
Exactly.
It's the easiest way.
I every time.
Good on you, Matt.
Hey, Georgie in Broadview, wrap us up. Who is the petty cheater?
How you going, guys?
Good,
Really
thanks.
good.
And yourself?
Good. Mine's super petty. Mine was my dad. He used to sneakily hide cards one under another and put like 3 down per turn.
Right.
Against me when I was like 6 years old, so he couldn't let me win. So
Wow. Wait, so
real
yes,
petty.
the parent cheating. That's when you know it's bad.
He was teaching you the importance of gracefulness and losing, was he?
I guess so. I'm graceful loser now, so I guess it works.
Now, Georgie, have you implemented this technique of cheating onto anyone else in your later years?
I wish. I just don't think I'm sneaky enough to get away with it.
Have to be a pro.
Hey, Georgie, we've got a rub pack valued at $150 coming your way.
Tom, I'm boycotting a restaurant.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it's a hasty decision, but I won't be going back, and it's an Italian restaurant too.
Oh, no, what
I
happened?
know. Well, I never boycott Italian restaurants.
I
Love
know
it.
you haven't.
Yeah, great. It's a great cuisine. Why would I ever leave one?
So what's happened? Why are you boycotting?
And to be fair, I will give my hats off to this place that their technique of scrounging money from people worked. And we ended up paying a pretty hefty bill out of this. And it was an interesting technique that they did, but I feel like a lot of restaurants might do this. It's the first time I've seen it, though, in full swing.
Okay, what happened?
So pretty much go there, group of mates, about 4 of us.
Right.
No menus on the table.
Okay.
Lady comes over, she says, would you like me to read out the menu? We're like, sure, okay, bring them out. She then goes on a verbal spiel and lists everything that's on the menu verbally. And it was
Right.
impressive. You do get caught
How
up
many
in...
things are on the menu?
Oh, kid you not, probably 30 different things.
30.
So she knows her stuff for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive, and that's the thing. You do get swooped up in how impressive it is that this old Italian lady is just there pumping out every pasta, every lasagna, every pizza topping, and all these extra stuff.
Is she going into detail about each dish, or is she just sort of going, you got spaghetti bolognese, gnocchi pomodoro, ravioli, spinach and feta?
So she's going like that. So she still lists. She's not detail everything, but
Yeah.
it's just listing
How
the main
quickly
ones.
is she going through?
Very quickly. So that's the
Right.
problem as
so
well.
you got Eminem taking your order.
Yeah, literally. So it gets to a point where you don't even remember what she's said. You're
Yeah.
literally just trying to keep up and keep up.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. So you ended up just ordering what one of the last things she said was, which I said, the spaghetti marinara, because that was one of the last things. So I was like, yeah, look, just do that. I can't remember the other 40 things you said before this, so just
I
do
feel
what's
like
towards the end.
It's pretty safe at an Italian restaurant. You know what they've got on the menu. I think you could have taken a stab in the dark for anything.
Yeah, I guess, but there's still like a lot of
You've
variations.
chosen
of different
marinara,
things.
which is, notoriously the most expensive because it's all the seafood.
Well, I'll get to that because the bill comes out right. We've all ordered our pastas, things like that.
Yeah.
$200 bill. The pastas
Across
were
4 of you.
4 of us. $200 bill. The pastas were $47 each.
What?
How nuts is that? So this is the scheme. You don't read the menu. Everyone looked at the bill. We were like, why the hell is the pasta $45, $47? And it's because they don't give you the menu. She reads it out verbally. You end up ordering the last thing she says, which is the marinara, so it's the most expensive thing. So you don't ever see how much anything costs, and then you just get everything, and it's a $200 bill.
I got to say, I respect the hustle of this waitress.
Well, that's what I said before. It's annoying.
They
It's
did
annoying.
have menus, they were just on the counter.
Yeah, you just have to go get it yourself.
Callum, I mean, I don't know if you follow the English Premier League, the soccer over in England at all. I know quite a few people that do, and I've heard about this coach at Sunderland. His name's Michael Beale, and he got sacked after just 63 days of being in charge.
Right, I feel like this is something you hear about a lot. Coaches going rogue, especially, in the soccer, they do a few bold choices.
Well, you see, like, if they're not performing, they will sack a manager, no dramas, they will not second question it.
Ruthless.
Yeah, absolutely ruthless over there. But he didn't get sacked due to performance issues or anything. He actually got sacked due to allegations of creating a burner account on X, formerly known as Twitter. So he created this burner account, allegedly, to argue with fans of the Sunderland Football Club, saying, things like, he's basically just protecting himself.
Right.
Saying like, Michael Beale's doing such a great job, he's really good.
What? So he's talking about himself as the coach, being like, that coach is really great. He's doing an awesome job.
It was under a burner account called Player ID.
It's funny, as I did that when I was like 18 at a restaurant I was working at. I was like, I'll hop on the Google reviews. Callum's a great waiter. He served the dal very efficiently.
You and Michael Beale should catch up for a beer. No, he's even gone as far to protect himself, saying no one could ever replace this great manager, Michael Beale, because of how toxic the fan base is.
Yeah, it seems like he's gone a bit too overboard though, right?
Yeah, well, he's done quite a few arguments over X. So then fans started doing some digging of this account, Player ID, and found that the profile belonged to a business venture of Michael Beale.
Right. So, he's slipped up.
Yeah, so that's how they think allegedly it is him. He has denied, but there's a lot of evidence stacked up against him. But the best part was when people took screenshots of all these tweets and took it to Reddit, and the top comment on this Reddit thread was, "I don't think it's a burner account. Just an honest fan that knows the truth." And that comment was posted by a user called Michael Meal.
Tom, I experienced some of the most chaotic wingmanning I've ever seen on the weekend.
Right.
This guy was flying his jet in all sorts.
So were you the one being wingman, or you watched this from a distance?
So no, I was the one being wingman by our mate at work, Diego. He's been here at Fresh for a little bit, and we were at the Saracen's Head Hotel, the Fresh DJ takeover on Friday night.
Yes, of course, great night.
It was a good one, and I'm out with Diego. He's clocked onto these girls that we go and sit next to, and as we're sitting next to them, right. He's claimed that one of them's keen on me. So I'm like, all right, I'll roll with this. And I'm sitting next to her, right? And this is probably the most obvious. You have to understand how obvious this was.
Yeah.
Right? So he sits down, Diego, opposite me with this other girl, the friend of the one that I was keen on. And he literally leans over the table. He's had a few drinks.
It's really hard to not be cringing right now.
Yeah, look, it's a cringy story. Let's just get that out of the way. It is a little bit cringe, what's going on. But just bear with me.
Sure.
Diego leans over the table, and in an attempt to, I think, get the girl that he was with inside so I'm alone with the one I'm interested in, so there's no distractions. Once again, don't cringe. He leans over to me and says, "Watch this. I've got your back. Don't worry." I kid you not, he said this in earshot that both girls could hear.
Oh, no.
So they can hear him leaning over.
Is
and
it one of those moments where, like, the music cut just as he went to say it? Or it was just loud?
It pretty much must have. But it was loud enough that, one, the leaning over the table was big enough to send signs.
Yeah.
Then it was the talking loud, "Hey, watch this. I'm going to do this. Just sit back and relax." To the point where the girl I'm sitting next to, I think, has heard it too, and we're just sitting there watching him.
Yeah, waiting to see what's about to unfold.
What is actually going to happen, yeah. He turns to the girl and says, "Hey, I think we should go inside for a dance." This is his grand plan. We've seen the blueprints. We've seen what the inner workings of his mind is. His grand plan of swaying the girl was saying, "Hey, do you want to go inside for a dance?"
Yeah.
And then get this. The girl he says it to turns around and she says, "Nah, I'm all good."
Oh, no.
So then Diego says... You can see his world just crumbling. You can see behind the eyes.
The panic
everything is shattered, The grand plans have completely blown up.
Did he have a plan B?
Well, he turned to her for plan B and said, "No, I think it looks really good in there. We should go for a dance." To which the girl I'm sitting next to, we're just watching this, it was a dinner and a show, really, because it was just really theatrical watching all of this unfold. Once again, she turned around and said, nah, I'm all good. I'm not in the dancing mood. And then he sat back down and just chatted like normal.
Yeah.
It was just it was a failed attempt. It was a great attempt. Good wingmanning, but it was just a bit all over the shop.
Was it a good attempt, or was it just, props to him for trying to wingman?
Props, but probably flying solo next time.
Could do some working on the wingman.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to open up the phone lines here, Adelaide. 1300 737374. What's some of the worst wing persons you've ever seen? Was it a mate of yours? Were you the wing person that did a poor job?
Yes. Have you had to give one of your wing woman a dishonourable discharge and say, hey, you're off the team?
Wrong choice of words for this topic.
True. But, have they abandoned you as a wingman? Why are they so bad? What happened on the night out?
Give us a buzz now, Adelaide. 1300 737374. We've opened up the phone lines. Who has been the worst wing person? Was it yourself? Was it someone trying to wing person you? Was it someone you just saw at a distance? Or friends of yours that were going out? We did get this text in, Callum. Somebody said, my wingman accidentally bumped his drink onto the girl he was supposed to be setting me up with.
Yeah, bit clumsy. Wingman probably had too many drinks themselves. Have a breatho on you at all times if you're recruiting a new wingman.
We've got Lily from Flagstaff here on the line. Lily, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, guys. How are you?
Really
Very
good.
well. Now, Lily, were you the wing woman, or were you getting wingmanned or wingwomaned?
I was actually getting wingwoman by my boss of all people, which was pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. How'd it go down? What happened?
So I used to work at a shop, and my boss was like so a bit bad to me because I was single. But she's a bit of a penchant for older men. So whenever like a 50-year-old guy would come into the shop, she'd be like, "Oh, how about you serve them?" Or she'd sort of introduce me to them and be like, "Oh, this is Lily. She's a really nice young girl." It didn't work though. But...
Right. Okay. So just throwing little comments out there, being like, "Yeah, she's really nice," just stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably a bit of a HR slip up, but hey.
Definitely.
Lily, was your boss really trying to wing woman you, or was she trying to just wing woman herself by wing womaning you?
No, I think she was just wing-womaning me because they were all about her age and she's more into the older men, like the sort of 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds.
Oh,
right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, pretty specific preference. So, yeah, she wasn't the market.
Sounds like a pretty ruthless wingwoman, There's a lot going on there. You should really survey who you're into.
Hey, we did have Max from Mount Barker call up before, but unfortunately he couldn't stay on the line. He said that he's a great wingman, but his friends suck at being the wing people because his friends are really awkward, which is an interesting take for a so-called great wingman to be.
Yeah.
If you're such a good wingman, shouldn't it not matter if your friends are awkward?
Oh, literally.
Don't you just seal the deal?
You're a pro, aren't you? Yeah.
We have to have a bit of a chat about Donald Trump. Of course, he's going up against Joe Biden in the next presidential election to become president of the United States, which is just a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, look, it's just one of those we all unanimously think, here we go again. All right.
Yeah.
The reign of terror begins once again. Trump in presidency, it's just it's going to be a big thing if he does.
Well, across not only his presidency, but both of his campaigns, he's said some pretty outlandish things. He's got the Make America Great Again hats. He's also said that the way he wanted to cure COVID was by putting light in the body, and he thinks raking the forest can prevent fires.
Yeah, a lot of outlandish claims for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, I think, is just absolutely losing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he is losing it, but no one's doing anything about it. We still put him on the pedestal, don't we?
Yeah, for some reason. But while he was delivering one of these long, I guess, kind of confusing speeches at a rally in Wildwood, New Jersey, he was complaining that criminals are being released from prisons and mental institutions, and then he went to name check a bit of a famous fictitious serial killer that we know as Hannibal Lecter.
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah, he's really scraping the barrel of his psyche when he starts mentioning fictional characters, right? I mean, they're fictional for a reason. You don't really have to bring them into the real scope of things. Just stick to your facts, Trump. You know, you're doing a speech.
Yeah, I think he confused himself by saying Hannibal Lecter, and then he started like going around in circles in this whole speech, and then it's like Silence of the Lambs just sort of popped into his head, and he was like, I'm just going to run with this now for a little bit.
Yeah, he rented it on cable the night before. Some old hotel he was in. It's stuck in his head.
And then he ends the speech by basically saying Hannibal Lecter was the great late Hannibal Lecter was a wonderful man.
Boy, you said the late great.
The late great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man.
The late great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man.
He kind of sounds like Hannibal Lecter.
It's almost like he knows him. Like he's just, it's almost like Hannibal Lecter's a real dude. He's like, hey, Trump, in your next speech, can you give me a shout-out?
Also, the actor who played Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins, is very much still alive.
Well and truly still breathing. Yeah, who knows what's going through his head? Like I said, bringing fictional characters into his speeches, it's just another step towards insanity, isn't it?
The late, great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man.
Like, what are you going on about?
And he most definitely wasn't a wonderful man by any account.
The worst part is he very well could become the president.
Yeah. Tom, reality shows have become such a big part of, pop culture and TV, daily life, everything like that.
Big time.
And one has come about, it's resurfaced because it got quite a bit of traction back in the day for what happened, and it's only being talked about now. But back in 2016, there was a British reality TV show that had 23 men and women put in the Scottish Highlands, and pretty much it was like a Survivor type thing.
Yeah, okay, right. So they were just by themselves?
Yep.
Up in the Scottish Highlands, in the wilderness. Camera crew?
Yep, so camera crew, everything is all there. It is pretty much like Survivor, which I find weird in itself that it's Survivor but in the Scottish Highlands. Like, it's not in a tropical, Caribbean spot or anything. That's the usual island. It's just these people living in the Highlands, seeing if they can fend for themselves. But I guess they have that forest area and everything, so it's a bit different. But pretty much they got to the point where they had to set their own rules and laws, build their own shelter and grow their own food. So it was even more intense than Survivor, probably.
Right.
They didn't have things, handed to them or games like that. It was pretty raw, bare bones. You just have to survive with everyone.
And how long were they out there for?
So quite a while, like 6 months or something. It was one of those decent chops, right?
Okay, sure.
But the funny thing is about this is that they filmed it all. It was so hellish, so nightmarish, that 13 people left halfway through.
Wow, okay.
So it was one of those that 13 people said, hey, I'm done with this, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Once, the 6-month period passed and there was an official winner, things like that, they all, dispersed, went back to their homes and everything. The show's finished. Then they find out it never aired.
It never aired.
The TV channel, whoever production company, just axed it. So,
you'd be filthy.
But they only axed it like a month into their thing. So everyone's just stuck on this in the Highlands, living in a desolate area. For whatever reason, the camera people didn't know either.
Doing their piece to cameras about, what's going on around the camp, who's in, who's out.
Or looking like a complete idiot, doing all your strategy pieces, things like that, only to find out none of it aired at all. And then there's everyone really pissed off because...
You'd be salty.
There's people, talking about relationships and jealousy. There was fighting and bullying and people going hungry and, stealing other people's foods. There was great television there. A lot of people, going hungry, bit malnourished, heaps of fights, ending relationships, all to find out when you come back home, hey... That soap opera took your time slot, actually. You guys...
The Bold and the Beautiful had better ratings.
We didn't see any of the hardships you went through. It's all done.
Oh, no.